Hey y'all, welcome back to this week's episode of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, recruiting in yoga pants. All right, so let's dig in. This is going to be a quick one this week because I'm recording it really, really late and didn't really have anything planned, but here we go. So forgive me if this one sucks. It's been a long week. Okay, so I want to dig in a little bit to scope of work. So leveling, scope of work, and titles. A lot of folks do get hung up on title, right? And I get it. You know, we want to be. It's part of our identity. It's it kind of proves in some way that we've reached some pinnacle of success. My official title is senior recruiter, and I'm proud of that. Like, I've worked really hard and for a long time to reach this level of my career and to kind of have earned that senior title, and I'm proud of that. Like, I definitely want to be called a senior recruiter, and I'm looking at, what's next for me. Is it principal? Is it management? What have you? So I get it. I'm not saying you shouldn't care. But I'm also saying that that's only a small part of the equation, because the reality is the reason why I care about my title today and the reason why I'm proud of that, name, is because I know the scope of work that accompanies it. So the thing, and that's why this week has been exceptionally crazy, because I've been really heads down doing a lot of data and reporting and kind of, there's several offers went out this week. There's just been a lot going on, and a lot that's kind of above and beyond filling recs. That's my job right now. It is absolutely, I got to fill positions. I got to keep things moving. I got to bring people to the company. But there's this whole other layer of strategy and stuff that I've been really, really heads down in this week. And those are the things that I can't give up. So when I'm getting those external calls, when I'm being hit up by, other companies looking for a recruiter, I look right past the title. They'll be like, oh, I've got a great opportunity for a senior recruiter. Okay, doing what? I want to know doing what? Because if I'm just going to come in and fill recs, or I'm just going to come in and, manage a handful of open positions, and I don't have a voice at the leadership table, and I don't have a say in strategy, and I don't get to, pick and choose my team and pick and choose my, I'm not interested, right? That's me. Now, you could call me whatever you want. You could change the title. You could call me Grand Poobah of Recruiting. I don't care. I care very much about the scope of work. So let me give you another example. This one came up, I believe we were kind of talking about this a little bit on Twitter earlier this week, if I remember correctly, and an engineering leader weighed in, which I thought was really interesting, the way he positioned this. 100% accurate, but it's a great example of what I mean. This is somebody who is an engineering leader. I think they're a senior manager at a, relatively large company, and got hit up for a VP role at a startup. Okay. I think there's a lot of goodness in startups, and I may someday myself go to I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see if a startup would even want me. I don't know. But, I think there's definitely some goodness there. There's some huge positives to going that direction. And of course, the title sounds great, right? VP of engineering. All right. Yeah. Tell me more. So here's what happened. So this engineering leader currently leads a team of, 60 people, let's say it's 50 or 60 people. And, working on a couple of massive initiatives, and has this, robust group of people, and he manages managers, and, it's a pretty good sized little group, right? For his little scope of work as a senior manager. So put that next to this VP role at the startup, and come to find out that this VP role is going to lead a team of 4 or 5, and the VP is going to actually be coding themselves 50% of the time. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying VPs shouldn't code, or that, we, especially in a startup, it's a lot of all hands on deck. Everybody's kind of playing their part. Everybody's doing their thing. But the reality is, even though the title was bigger, the job was smaller. by a lot. Going from leading a team of 60 and a couple of massive initiatives to taking basically a cut in scope to lead a small team working on one thing. And again, kind of going back to, part-time IC, being hands-on coding yourself half the day. Nothing wrong with that. If that was something that this person wanted to do, if they were passionate about coding and wanted to get back to that, if they were passionate about this particular startup, project or whatever, it might have made sense. But this person looked at the scope of work and said, I've got a really big, juicy gig that I like. Doesn't make sense for me to take a down level in scope. So don't let the title fool you. That's kind of the goal of today's message and what I want to share with you. I don't want you to get hung up on title or even level one way or the other. I don't want you to get a phone call about, this senior level role. But then once you dig into it and you see, well, the size of the company or the actual scope of the work, or if it's like a bank where everybody's a VP, those kinds of things, I want you to really do that due diligence and dig into the specifics. What am I going to own? What am I going to be responsible for? What does growth look like? What does management potential, if that's something you want to do, look like? What are the the objectives of this position? What am I going to deliver in the next 12 to 18 months? Those kinds of things. And so title is one thing, level is one thing. Those things can impact important stuff like compensation, right? Comp bands are often tied to level bands. But I want you to really dig into the scope of the work. The job might be too small for you, and that's okay. You can say no. You can say no, thank you. You can say, I would consider it, but I would need more. I would need this, I would need that. Understanding the scope that you want to own is the other side of this coin. All right. So you're going to have those incoming requests and people in your inbox and, hey, I've got this great job for you and this is what it looks like. The other side of this and the work that you can start doing today is think about what is the right scope for your next role. This is an exercise I'm constantly going through in my own mind, and I have my, little notebook here that I kind of jot things down throughout the day. And one of the things that I really care deeply about is my next role. I have some very high expectations for myself and what I want that to look like. I'm pretty fortunate that I think that is going to happen in my current company. As long as they keep me, you never know. But I do feel like, I have that path in front of me. I can pivot, to kind of the next big thing for me. But it's because I've taken the time to really think about, what do I love about my current job? What do I love about the work I'm doing today? What do I want to add? What do I want to learn? What do I want to grow into? What do I want to improve? And that is helping me define that next step for me. It also makes it really, really easy to know which outreaches to say no to immediately, because I know the scope isn't there, versus the ones that might be like, oh, maybe I should take that call. Maybe I should hear that person out, because it aligns with what I know I want to do. Okay, so that, my friends, if you are willing to do homework, let that be your homework for this week. I would love to hear your story. I want to know, has this video gotten you thinking about scope of work? Are you plotting out your next move, whatever that looks like? I'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment down below if you're comfortable doing that. Email me, amy@recruitinginyourpants.com. I think this is such a valuable exercise for all of us, no matter where we are in our job search, where we are in our career. If you can take that time to really think about the stuff that lights you up and what you really want to do next, it helps you really start honing in on the right networking efforts, the right jobs to apply to, and the right people to go out there and make friends with. All right? Scope of work is where it's at, y'all. Title, leveling, we'll figure that stuff out later, but hone in on what it is you want to do, the work that lights you up, and let's go and find it. All right? Hope that helped, y'all, as always, and we will see you next week.